Hi everyone, I am Bhavna, 2014 to 19 batch, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar College of Law, Andhra University. As a part of initiative taken by Team Kala, I am here and try to give an overview on Income Tax Act 1961. Firstly, let me start saying why do we pay tax? The tax paid by us becomes an income for the government of India. They use the income to fund essential expenses like defense, police, judiciary, public health, infrastructure, etc. Tax are of two types: direct tax, indirect tax. Income tax falls under direct tax. Introduction. The Income Tax Act in its present came into force on and from 1st April 1962. Before this, the Indian Income Tax Act 1922 was in force. The procedural matters with regard to income tax are governed by the Income Tax Rules 1962, its earlier counterpart being the Income Tax Rules 1922. The Income Tax Act contains the provisions for determination of taxable income, determination of tax liability, procedure for assessment, appeal, penalties, and prosecutions. It also laid down the powers and duties of various income tax authorities. To deal with taxation, we should know about Finance Act. Every year, a budget is presented before the Parliament by the Finance Minister. One of the important components of the budget is the Finance Bill. The bill contains various amendments in the Income Tax Act and prescribes the rates of taxes. When the Finance Bill is approved by both the Houses of Parliament and receives the assent of President, it becomes the Finance Act. CBDT issues notifications from time to time. CBDT stands for Central Board of Direct Tax. Some important terms in taxation are assessee. An assessee is any individual who is liable to pay taxes to the government against any kind of income earned or any losses incurred by him for a particular assessment year. Each and every person who has been taxed in the previous years for income earned by him is treated as an assessee under the Income Tax Act 1961. Previous year and assessment year. Income earned by a person in a financial year is taxable in the following financial year. So, the financial year in which the person has received income is called as the previous year. The financial year in which the tax liability on the income of the person is assessed is known as assessment year. Agricultural income. Agricultural income refers to income earned or revenue derived from sources that include farming land, buildings on or identified with an agricultural land, and commercial produce from a horticultural land. Agricultural income is exempt from income tax in the case of all the assessees. Some of the examples of agricultural income are given below. Following are some of the examples of non-agricultural income like poultry farming, beehiving, income from dairy farming, royalty income from mines, income from butter and cheese making, etc. To determine the tax liability of an assessee, we should know his residential status first. Residential status of an assessee are of three types: resident and ordinarily resident, resident not ordinarily resident, non-resident. An assessee to fall under resident and ordinarily resident, he must satisfy either condition 1 or 2 but not 3. Resident not ordinarily resident should satisfy either condition 1 or 2 and also 3. A non-resident neither satisfy condition 1 nor 2. Condition 1. If individual is in India in the previous year for a total period of 182 days or more. Condition 2. If he has been in India for at least 365 days during the 4 years preceding the previous year and has been in India for at least 60 days during the previous year. However, the 60 days shall be read as 182 days if he is a citizen of India who leaves India in any previous year as a member of the crew of an Indian ship or for the purpose of employment outside India, or citizen of India or of Indian origin engaged outside India, whether for rendering services outside or not, and who comes on a visit to India in any previous year. Condition 3. An individual who has been a non-resident in India in at least 9 out of 10 previous years preceding that year and has during the 7 previous years preceding that year been in India for a period of or periods amounting in all to 729 days or less. Set off and carry forward. Set off means adjusting the losses against the profit of that financial year. In case if there is no adequate profits to set off the entire loss, it can be carried forward to next assessment years subject to the conditions stated in the Act. Clubbing of income. Clubbing of income means adding or including the income of another person, mostly family members, to one's own income. Computation of tax liability. I felt this table helps us to understand how we calculate tax liability in a better and easier way. Income sources are divided into 5 heads. They are income from salaries, income from house property, profits and gains from business or profession, capital gain, income from other source. After summing up all these heads of income, we'll get a total income from which we'll adjust, set off and carry forward losses which we earlierly discussed. Then we'll add up income under section 60, 61, 64, 66 to 69D which deals with clubbing of income. If any other person's income are to be added, we'll add to it and we'll get a sum called gross total income. From there, we will list the deductions under section 80C to 80U. Here, section 80A to 80U of the Income Tax Act lays down the provisions relating to deductions allowable to SSCs from their gross total income, like medical expenses, royalty on patent, or any other bonds which government announces and shows it as a deduction from income tax. There comes a total taxable income. There we will again list the relief under section 89, 90 and 91, that is double taxation relief. There comes a balance. Then we will add surcharge to this balance. Surcharge means additional charge on SSCs whose net taxable income is more than 1 crore. To this sum, we will again add cess. Health and education cess is 4% currently in India. After summing up all these amounts, we will get a total tax liability to which we will apply current slab rates and we will determine the amount of tax we should pay to the government. With this, I am ending up this video by giving you a web link of Income Tax India where you could find more information relating to income tax, like what are the income tax authorities, who are the chairpersons to it, what are the slab rates and current updates of Finance Act and etc. Thank you Team Kala for giving me this opportunity. I wish you the best in all that you do.